Well, hello, listeners. It's Sam and I here to talk with you about our latest show. We call it episode 37. Some people call it 12/29/95. Some say it was the second night of the 95 New Year's run, one of the great 95 New Year's runs. A lot of people say a lot of things. Let's see what we have to say. Sam, welcome. Let's chat about 12/29/95.
12/29 at the Worcester Centrum. Yeah, I've been to the Worcester Centrum. And I saw a New Year's run show there. It's cool. It's whatever. It's an indoor place. Phish has played good shows there. Mm-hmm. It's basketball, hockey, multi-use. I don't know. I don't have anything good or bad to say about Worcester. It's spelled strange. I don't know why.
Some nice echoing, so a lot of hard surfaces. That's what I imagine.
Yeah, it always feels like winter or cold there. I don't know. I've never really been in the summer. Maybe that's my problem. It's in Western Mass. Massachusetts is kind of a long, skinny state, and it's away from Boston. But it's a cool town. And this show, I don't know. I wrote on my notes, is this one of the strongest New Year's runs ever? ? Mm-hmm. Maybe. I mean, it's capped by what we will be discussing in episode 38, which I believe will loom pretty large over this one, being New Year's 95. But that show being the tentpole for these four shows, maybe. These are all great shows.
I actually, I know I'm kind of bringing high energy to the show today. I feel like you're going medium to low energy, so we'll find a nice balance. I can already tell I think I'm going to like this show a little bit better than you, but maybe not. But I wouldn't even hesitate to say it is absolutely one of the best New Year's runs. And I was going to say that our special project this week was, instead of hunting down different versions of a particular song, we really just went into depth of this New Year's run. I listened to all four shows. Well, I didn't listen to New Year's 95, but only because it plays permanently in my head and I don't need to listen to it. I was floored. I was really floored. I thought every show had something to bring to the table. And I can only imagine, having seen this run, that you'd be quite proud and a forever fan.
Yeah, it seems strange to me, I guess, having done the same, that this show rises above the 28th and the 30th. Correct. I think they're all pretty equal. Yep. And I think 12/31 does stand above them. Yes. But I think the bookends of this show are also so strong, and I don't know that this show beats them out. I don't know. We'll get into it. Maybe convince me. This is a 50-50 on off the list for me, but not because it's not great. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. 100%. Yeah. I think once I listened to the other shows after this one, I was like, well, why did 29 get the nod? Just because of the real Jen? The special guest? I don't know. So yeah, let's talk about it, Sam.
It feels like it may fall into that the basket that we discussed previously, where it's a show that has one big jam that it's known for. Because whenever anyone says 12/29/95, it's like, oh, the real Jen.
Right.
And it's great. I think there's other great parts of the show.
Definitely.
Very good parts. But that jam does kind of denote the show a little bit. Kind of how the 12/9/95 Yem does, even though there's a lot of good material surrounding that. So, yeah, but we'll get into it. I like this first set as a great example. Lots of really great Type 1 stuff, but I don't know. Are you going to re-listen? Where are you going to re-listen? Where are you at? Let's set one.
Well, first of all, I'll say the recording is not great. It's okay. If it was an official release, yes, I'd definitely re-listen. There are several versions that I would re-listen. My friend, it's a great opener. I love it. It was a little bit of a dark build in this, my friend. So not exactly like super welcoming, but I do like that, especially because they're doing something with this run. They opened the night before, the first night of the run, with a split, which is pretty unheard of for 95 bold, to open a show with the split. And it was an awesome split at that. So they're coming in again with the sort of like, we're going to hit you with the first punch. Although a little bit more traditional, but not the greatest version of my friend. And then Poor Heart, I just wrote check. I made a check mark next to it.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty smoking.
I'm assuming it means classic standard Poor Heart.
Well, we discussed Trey's being the set list writer.
Right.
We have on the show and we have in person. This must be fun for him and for the band to build a 4-night set list, because that's what this is. And you can tell in some of the writing that they're trying. There's a lot of flow, but there's also where they're holding off on certain songs and putting weight on others in shows for a reason. The first show was the Tweezer night.
Mm-hmm.
That really was the jam vehicle. And I thought they built this first set. Honestly, everything, taste aside, let's say, everything felt like a type 1 improvised album version. They were so well played.
Right.
There was a little bit extra on everything. So tight. Great energy in the room. I loved it. I enjoyed every moment of it. I just don't know that I'm going to go back. But I thought both the Down with Disease and the Stash had beautiful, beautiful jams.
Yes.
Even in the Stash, there's the final peak. I just wrote "cool minute of Phish," like very beautiful, beautiful peak in the Stash.
Yeah, the Stash had a huge ending. I did think it was maybe a little protracted, like a little plotting.
Yeah, it's type 1.
Like I thought
clean.
It was powerful and tight either way. But the ending was awesome. But I was just kind of like, are we going somewhere? And then we didn't really go anywhere. But yeah, you're right. Type 1 and high energy. I did think that Trey was smoking hot at the end of the Down with Disease again, where I was just like, wow, awesome ending. You kind of
great dynamics, really up down, and that it's type 1. It's quick and short. But the Down with Disease also was very good and very.
Yeah.
I love when they get quiet to loud, and there was a lot of just tension release 101 in this show. The band was really a well-oiled machine, and I was very impressed all the way through. With
the taste was much improved from last time.
A little rough, but I felt it. You could tell they practiced between those couple weeks off.
Yeah, they had a conversation. Said, let's try this. And again, I thought Trey's solo at the end of Taste was really great.
Yeah.
So we'll talk MVP of the show later, but it's not who you'd expect. Then we go to NICU. Nice clav solo from Paige, I thought.
Yeah, solid version. Yeah. Very, very good.
Then it goes into the Stash, which we already kind of discussed. And then we got Fluffhead.
Mm-hmm.
I have a note here. It says, Johnny B. Fishman presents Fluffhead. Wow.
It's almost flawless
Yeah.
as well. Like the way it's put together, a little extra mustard on lots of stuff. I mean, the arrival was a little static, I
Right.
wrote, but and I remember it. But it was a good fluff head.
Well, it was really
Good
fast
placement.
too. It was really fast. It was really high energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, this is what the band can't do now. And that's okay. The band's still great in their way.
Right.
But this was a different band.
Yeah,
This
totally.
was the time where they could dip their toes into 91, 92 tightness still and execute with perfection.
I mean, at this point in their career in 95, I feel like, everybody's like, oh, type 1, type 2. A good type 1 in 95 could damn near give you an orgasm. I mean, it's as good as Phish gets. So I feel like when we say type 1, we're not putting it down. I mean, I think it's oftentimes just as good, if not better. It's just its own thing. It's just a way to talk about it. But then we get into Llama. I liked it. I mean, Llama's not much.
It's a cool closer.
Yeah, it was like
I mean, the out-of-line closes,
guitar
but,
splatter stuff. Fishman again doing.
It felt short. Did the set feel short to you?
I
don't know if it is time-wise, but it felt quick. I remember I finished. I was like, "Whoa, we're all done."
Right. Well, I feel like the Stash and the Fluffhead, are like covering right around, like mid-10s. I think Stash is like 12 or something, right?
Yeah, probably. And the Down with Disease is not short. So yeah, I get it.
But a Stash Fluff in the middle of a first set that's a nice piece of meat there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I'd be happy. It'd be a happy set break.
So yeah, well, where we are, set break. Look at us.
Yeah, I mean the room is hot there. I remember physically, so I get it.
Yeah.
And yes, that's set break. And then it moves into set 2, which definitely is where the meat is in the show. We get the headphones, the aforementioned kind of tentpole jam of the show. But they open this set, and I think it's a very auspicious way to open the set. This is we just discussed set list writing. I find this set list to be really unique. Mm-hmm. The way they built the songs and put the songs together. We've been listening to 11/30/96, the re-release of the final official release of the Arco Arena, which, I don't know, top 10 life experiences in many ways for me with this band. But this set list feels that kind of vibe. There's a very strange, ominous structure to it. Mm-hmm. And I thought opening with a Makasupa was setting a vibe in the room.
Definitely.
I would have been so happy. And just elated, and the confidence to come out with quiet, slow reggae after the break is a real bold choice. I love it.
Definitely.
And Page's synth solo in the middle is perfect.
Is that, I wrote, I love the dramatic swooshing effect. Was that Page? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, it was a leisurely Makasupa.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any rushing.
And I was thinking a little bit, you had asked me in the past in previous episodes kind of how I thought about the pot banter. And I think I really like it. And I think like in retrospect in like 95, you know, this is like a few years after the pot boom. And there were a couple bands like Cypress Hill, 311, like a couple of bands that were kind of like acknowledging like, yeah, we smoke pot, you know, the Beastie Boys, but not a lot of bands did, you know. And I feel like the way Phish kind of like wore it on their sleeve of like, we're a pot band. I think there was a big part of the 20 something me that kind of felt like, yeah, I can be a part of this club. I like pot.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and they did it in such a tongue-in-cheek, stupid way. And then the way they kind of, you know, they're not doing it like Cypress Hill or 311, where they're like, I smoke pot, I get the best weed, I fucking got all the hookups, or whatever it is. He's like, I woke up in the morning, I ate a Pop-Tart, smoked a joint, and went back to bed. And I was like, yeah, this is what my life is. They've got their finger on the pulse of my experience. It wasn't a braggadocio thing. It was like a real.
It wasn't about being cool.
Yeah.
It was about. I was a little high. I was a little nervous. I laughed a little bit. I took a nap.
Yeah, I like that. So I quite liked this version. I think 95 is a great year for Makasupa.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we go into Cars, Trucks, and Buses, which I think is a fantastic set 2, slot 2 song. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, Page getting after it again. Maybe that's your secret MVP, but wow, again.
Yeah.
And they're pushing all the Billy Breeze stuff because that album's about to come out and they're working on everything. And this was a great version. Yeah, I was a big fan.
Yeah.
I like that it forces Trey to not solo. I like all those chordal things he does. Kind of that swirly, whooshy, thing with his guitar. I really enjoy it that it's not, and he does a lot of mini drum stuff.
Yeah.
I like that it's not a Trey solo in the true sense, and it allows the band to be really search through new territory.
Definitely, and it's like a certain type of music that was kind of new at the time for them. Much more groovin'. It was like kind of a transition piece into funk.
Yeah, we just had a good conversation with our friend Tack, who we got to see in person, about how much he's loving Fall 95. And the reasons, I think, are in songs like this, where Trey's being forced to still lead the band through certain songs, but pull back and let the band kind of take different avenues. And I think Fall 94 began that. Summer 95 really started to solidify. And then once you got into Fall and then the New Year's run from 95, really showing a lot of promise with how to lay back a little bit and let the mastery of drums, bass, and keys kind of step up to the plate and create the full band sound that we all know and love, and that really flourished from 95 until the end of that decade.
Yeah. Well said. I agree.
But Cars, Trucks, Buses fan. Absolutely. And then the tentpole, the jam, the middle, the only headphones from this show in the book.
Right.
The Real Gin.
The Real Gin. So, we got a bathtub gin and then a cover of The Real Me from The Who's Quadrophenia from Fall 95. So people were excited to see this song come out again. I think that's a big reason why this is such a popular jam.
The only one, right? The only one since, I don't know.
It may be. I didn't look up that stat, but it's certainly possible.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Let's hope so?
Yeah, that would be perfect. If this was the only other one, and then we're done. Because the one at New Year, or the one at Halloween that we covered was great.
Uh-huh.
But this is better. The way it's sandwiched and works so perfectly together, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of the first 10 minutes of the gin?
Pretty standard for a while. And then, around 6 to 7, it starts to hint at a really interesting groove. And by, the end of that 7 minutes, really settles into an amazing... There were a couple parts that I thought were the best parts of this. And that's one of them. Before it goes into The Real Me, there's this just beautiful groove they find.
Yeah.
the transitions into and out of are perfection. It feels like a written piece of music.
Yeah.
Which that's when the bands, they're listening really well. They're firing on all cylinders when they're weaving in and out of something this smooth, and it's perfect.
It is perfect. Both of those segues are great, and yeah, it was just such a cool groove right before it goes into Real Me, and and then the Real Me has like a real, I don't think bite is the word, but it's got like a real strong rhythm to it. Like it's really moving in almost like a mechanical way. And it kind of, there's a physical feeling to it compared to the Gin, where the Real Me comes and you feel like this, like push in your lower chest. Yeah. You're like, whoa, I'm moving forward now. And Mike is really killing it.
The room is feeling exactly what you're describing too.
Yeah.
It was palpable energy. It's really cool.
Yeah. And then it beautifully segues back into the bathtub gin, get into what I would describe as, I guess, a quote hose territory. But definitely the way you kind of said, that they wrote these 4 shows as a set list, there's also themes that kind of play through them. And one of those themes is the one that pops up in the Weekapaw and the Yem in 1231, the sort of dun 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 dun, and that kind of pops up here in the final closer to this gin. Which is cool. And you're kind of like, oh, I hear a little bit of what's to come in the future here. And yeah,
and
just
Paige killing it again, I thought.
Spectacular finish to the gin.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it was highly satisfying.
Yeah. I deserves the headphones. I loved all the times I listened to it before. I remember driving, I think this is before we knew each other, but a real crystal clear memory of this for me was driving in Ryan's red Jetta from this condo we rented right on the 8 freeway in San Diego, and driving down past the Jewish Jelly that was there, that was so great, and over to Subway to pick Joe up, I think, and pick him up and go somewhere else, and listening to this at full volume when we were waiting in the parking lot directly outside the Subway. And I'd heard it before, but that was a real moment for it where it really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of moments in Ryan's red Jetta listening to, hissy audio cassettes of this, which probably didn't sound much better or worse than what we just listened to, because there are no official releases of the show. But yeah, it hit me again. I will go back multiple times and do this again. It was great.
Definitely. Then we go into the McGrupp, and you're right, Sam. I am going to give the secret MVP to Paige, because hot damn.
I wrote possibly a perfect, albeit in the box McGrupp. It was just structurally tight. Lyrics were done really well. And the jam was succinct and clear and clean and moving, but not outside the box in a good way.
This band has this ability to do stuff like the craziness of the rock of the gin, and then they're in like the middle of this McGrupp, and you're like, these are like classical musicians.
Yeah.
Like they might be playing rock instruments, but the way they play is so purposeful and beautifully composed and so layered. I just was blown away by the McGrupp. Loved it.
And then 5 minutes later, they're in Big Black Furry Creature from Mars.
Yeah, it's certainly a pairing.
Yeah. It's a whiplash. It's so... And this is why we love this band for a number of reasons, but this is why you love them is I'm old now. We're old men. And I love to see music. I love to play music. I love to be there. I don't know if I'm getting past 45 to an hour 15 with almost any band.
Right.
That's all I need. That's all I need live. What are you giving me at that point? And with this band, the reason why I think their shows can be so long, they design them to have stylistic and emotional and dynamic ups and downs, peaks and valleys, genre blending in a way that's not cheesy. You can say the Makasupa is a little bit, but that's not cheesy or tongue-in-cheek in a dumb way. Sometimes it's funny.
Yeah.
But they provide so much entertainment that the Big Black Furry Creature coming after the McGrupp is just perfect.
Yeah.
It's a noisy mess.
It is a noisy mess, and it's got like a great noisy ending. And then it's kind of cool because the guest, Mike's bass teacher, Jim Stinnett, is walking out towards the end, and they're making all this noise as a band, and then he starts walking out, and the crowd starts cheering, and there's a great little energy moment there as well. Yeah,
I agree. And I mean, being a bass player, this was a lot of fun for me. I thought, the Keep It Greasy and the Bach teases were really clear and funny.
Yeah.
I thought the two of them, it's two incredible bass players with very different styles, really playing tonally, but also thoughtfully playing off each other in this really great way. And then it kind of devolves into this, like 7 minutes in or so, this great bluesy section that tied it all back together. They explored a lot of good territory, but then like professionals, they wrapped it up in this really great way.
Cool. I'm glad to hear you say that. I was kind of curious what the bass player's take was going to be on it. I thought it was a really cool sort of like look into all the different styles that Mike plays. And again, like you just kind of said, like you hear a bass player in 7 minutes cover all these styles and you're like, oh, well, no wonder that translates to so many different styles of music within the band. And I thought that his dynamic and interplay with the teacher was really lovely. I like listening to it.
Yeah.
I think as a non-bass player, I'm not sure what the re-listen value is on it. And I think it might have been just a touch long. I don't know. I think that might have just been because I was listening at home. I have a feeling if I was at the show experiencing it, that I would have wished it was twice as long. But
guests are always a mixed bag.
Yeah, but listening at home and like the critical ear being like, should this be edited? I suppose maybe it would have been more powerful if it was a little shorter. But they're improvising, and that's great. So,
yeah, I mean, possibly these 4 shows are so good because in listening to all of them, I loved all four musicians at different moments for different reasons. And I think they all four stood out as singular individual performers at many points throughout the four shows.
Yeah.
Without Trey being, wow, we just saw a guitarist melt our faces.
Well, we did see that.
Always. But at this point, that was expected.
Yeah.
What we saw more of was everyone was melting faces in their own way. And I thought this bass duet, we'll discuss other parts of Mike killing it in other shows as we discuss, our highlights of this run. But yeah, I liked the bass part. Re-listen, maybe not. Maybe go to LaGrange and back it up 2 minutes because the bluesy part into LaGrange is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
And, this run of songs at the end here is pretty fucking great. Yeah. Honestly, these four songs, like if this was your first Phish show, you would be the happiest person in the world by the end.
Right.
They're just dialing up the rock and roll show closer meter to 10.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask for more. It was just capper on capper.
It was. Even the bouncing was really great and fit the moment. Again, great set list writing.
God, the fire, like shredding.
Yeah.
The solos in Fire were unbelievable. I was blown away.
Yeah. That Fire might be one of my favorite covers by doing this podcast. I didn't think it was, but every time we hit one, I'm like, wow.
And the Golgi, like that to go home with "I saw you with the ticket stub in your hand" moment, like, I was 19, 18. God, I was a young man, and this was a pivotal moment when I would see this band. And those are the moments you remember, is everyone singing along to that and smiling at all these random strangers around them. And you're learning how to just live in that, multiple 1,000-person bliss.
Right.
So great end of the show. Yeah. First set to me felt a little perfectly played, really tight, a little weak, but set 2 here really brought the goods all the way. I thought diversity, strength in stylistic diversity really won the day for me.
Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. I'm sold. I mean, I think, I'm not necessarily thinking we take this off the list, but I think a good way to look at it is don't overlook 1228 and 1230.
Yeah, I agree. And good segue. Speaking of all the good segues, let's I kept it to 3 moments.
Okay.
As much as I needed to. I'm willing to discuss other highlights as well, but I kept it to 3 to to not go on. And this became a tradition. No, I think it was the second time. No, maybe not. So the 2 in Worcester and 2 in New York was kind of cool, but I really did enjoy. I think it was fun to do the 2 and 2.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Picking songs from both places kind of was how I went into it. And really, I thought the first Worcester show was amazing. And I thought the first MSG show was also amazing.
Yeah.
It just gets overshadowed a little bit. But what do you got? What's your first? We're probably going to have at least 2 of the same 3.
I'll start with 1228.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're going to choose the tweezer, so I'm not going to. But maybe you won't. But I'm just going to mention... I'm just going to mention the Julius, because I like that Julius is like not a well-loved song. And I like that we've been...
By who?
I'm just in general, I feel like Julius, maybe it's just overplayed or whatever, but we love it. And
yes.
And every now and then I hear a version where I was just like, damn, that had a really killer build. And this Julius was dope. It had a huge build and release at the end. Great energy. And I'm saying that because I already brought up the split. Wink, wink. Not going to put it on my list, but the split is worth a listen. So Julius is going to be my first.
Cool. I like it. And yeah, of course I picked the tweezer. This tweezer is fucking amazing. Like, this is one that I don't ever know that I listen to ever once in my life.
Which is funny because it's on Live Bait.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
It's one of those that, like, I probably at some point it happened. The Live Baits sometimes, like, I put them on and stuff starts happening and they pass me by and I miss stuff. And this one does have headphones in the book and I should have paid more attention, but holy shit. Like, it's 22 minutes of just amazing improvisation. Absolutely amazing. I mean, there's like, what did I put? At 9:30, there's this da 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 part. Yep. I don't know how to describe that, but I would recommend listening to it. And then I also, again, giving the nod to the bassist, later in the song, Mike kind of takes the lead for a few minutes, and it's amazing. And I don't know why Mike it took a while for him to grow into really feeling the confidence to push the lead in jams.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a moment where he does. And to great effect. I thought it was incredible bass playing.
I was going to say that was one of my favorite parts of the jam.
Yeah, the whole band coalesced around it right away. And it built really beautifully out. And I thought the Into I Didn't Know was also really great. It's like a half hour of perfection. Way more deeply psychedelic than anything from the 29th, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the theme got pretty out there too.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick anything else from the show, but I will say the Fee Encore has a cool little, like a lot of Fees do, but it has like a cool, like 2-minute little thing tacked onto the end, which is really pretty. Kind of crashes and burns into Tweezer Reprise, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I like that as well. All right. Well.
Yeah. Tweezer show. I enjoyed this show almost as much as the 29th, but I thought this Tweezer was the best improvising of the 2 nights.
Yeah, I agree.
The deepest
that was
and darkest.
For sure. Of the 3 nights, I think even that's probably the improvisational highlight. Well, on the 30th, again, another kind of wacky opener. They're opening with Prince Caspian. So they've obviously made a conscious decision to be like, let's fuck with the openers a little bit on these shows. Yeah, Caspian 2001, Susie Greenberg, Bowie. Yeah, that's just wild. 4 songs. They were all
so much fun writing these set lists. Like you could feel the excitement about what if we just kind of, you feel it.
Right. The Bowie
biggest stage in the world, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Night
before New Year's Eve, like Caspian. I think Trey just wanted to stand there strumming those chords with the spotlights on him, you know. You got to imagine those like dim blue lights while the band's tinkering around, the spotlights on Trey when he's doing the chordal singing, and then when the whole band comes in, boom, the room lights up. Like I see the dramatic. Theatrical Trey has become a real modern thing, but theatrical Trey was always there.
For sure.
I see that in that set list writing on that first night. So
for sure. Okay, so my next choice, I've got 2 more, huh?
Yeah. Well, you can do as many as you want. We're into the last show now. We could just talk 12:30 for a while.
Yeah. I did think the Bowie was great. And I did love this simple too. I just want to call out the simple. It's 7.5 minutes, which means, for 95, it's got a little something on there. We're not quite to 96 simples, but it's on its way. And I love any time they kind of take off on a simple jam a little bit. And I loved this one. It's no exception. So again, I think like the Bowie simple, and then the It's Ice Kung It's Ice gets a lot of love. So yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I will point out the Bowie simple.
Yeah, sometimes Kung can really be cool, and sometimes it just denotes. People think it's weird and they say this is really cool that this happened here, but it can almost take away from a jam that's organically already doing great things.
Yes, I agree. And I think maybe it did that a little bit here.
Yeah, forcing something in there is never a good option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the simple as well, but I went straight to kind of the obvious, but mid set to Madison Square Garden to throw a Harry Hood there puts a lot of weight on the shoulders of that song. And I really adored this Harry Hood. It doesn't have headphones in the book, which really surprised me. I think that it's an absolute re-listen. I thought that there's this repeated melody partway through the tray starts hitting, and then it was just tight and amazing from then on. The intro is fine, but it was great. And then it chooses for minutes to not build. The maturity of and the length of this tension and release really, it showed the band willing to just take their time building this thing to the top of the mountain. And I think we had discussed this before, but I just wrote, I can't believe the roof is still on Madison Square Garden. Like it should just be open to the sky by the end, because if you take the ride from, 10 or so minutes in all the way to the end of the song, which is a long ride, it's just Peaksville. And the room is feeling it. It's incredible. I was very, very, very impressed.
Yeah, that's my third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably
I mean,
my favorite thing that I listened to from the 3 shows total. I mean, I guess
yeah.
because it was new to me. So I guess I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say, the real gin was not new to me. Um, so yeah, I was pretty floored by this Harry Hood, and then to cap it off with that crazy AC/DC bag was a little bit of a victory lap. And I know AC/DC bag is just like a traditional kind of build, but they really took it for a ride. Again, it kind of went next level after that.
Yeah.
Got a little ugly even, which I loved.
Yeah. Yeah, they were chomping at the bit through the end of it, and they were excited about being on that stage. And I think they ended the show. I mean, my third is the encore, which is A Day in the Life at Madison Square Garden. It's a rock band taking a lap,
Right.
and I thought, they end the New Year's show with Johnny Be Good, and we won't get too far into it because it's the next one we're doing. But being there, coming out as an encore after a show of epic proportions, and just like this Day in the Life. If they hadn't done it this night, could have fit the next night. I get it. But this was peak level rock band. This was a rock band that deserves to be on that stage for New Year's. And they were putting an exclamation point on the end of their first show. And I loved it. It was so well played.
That is a good way to put it, because I think you have to acknowledge what a big deal it is to play Madison Square Garden on New Year's Eve. That is not a small deal, especially in 95 for a band that no one knew really outside of New England.
They did not have a residency like they do now, where it's like, oh, MSG calls us to see if we want to play New Year's and we decide yes or no. Back then it was probably a stiff task.
Yeah, they had to finagle it away from Prince.
Yeah, 96 they did not play there.
Yeah.
So there had to be a reason. Maybe it was booked by someone else. Maybe, they had to go back to Boston, which I saw those shows. That was awesome. But this is a special arena, and the band now has a special connection. But looking back in time, this show was pivotal. Yeah. It really was. It was a year on from their first time there, and really impressive how much stronger this show was than the 94 MSG show.
Yeah.
So a great accomplishment by them. And the willingness to be more improvisational and be confident in the set list writing. Like you said, it's a strange set. Strange show, both sets. Really well done.
Speaking of 12/30/94, which you just kind of brought up, was their first show at Madison Square Garden, right? And Page has stated that tweezer from that show is one of his all-time favorite Phish jams. And that was always a tweezer that I listened to multiple times. It was just like, what do you love about it, Page?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm with you. I had that show. I bought that show on one of those $40 triple disc skinny packs CD, burn CD-ROM kind of things at a head shop once. Right. So I had that show early on. I remember being June. God, it was my senior year of high school. So I was, spring 95. So it was not long after the show.
Yeah.
And I remember it had you could tell someone printed the labels on their home computer, and I bought it at a head shop for a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And so I listened to that show a lot, and I don't remember it being good.
Yeah.
I just, at that time, I would get anything I could get my hands on.
So let's say this was the first historic, awesome MSG show.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I mean, for the band, it was 94, but for me, this was pretty special. And our next episode 38 is going to be New Year's 95, which for all of our listeners may be a two-parter after the amount of talking and work and guests we're going to have. We're going to try some multiple guests because I was there with our very good friend who we will have a separate discussion with about our night and our experience. And I could write a novella probably about my experience on that night. And my wife was there with me as well, who was not my wife then. And we weren't even really dating, but she was there, and she will have some things to say. We'll see if we get them in the room together. But it's going to be, virtually together. It's going to be a long discussion. And for me, being an 18-year-old who got tickets to New Year's Eve in New York and had no idea what I was doing and no real plan in New York City, a lot of people, when I went there, talked about the night before, and they were saying how incredible it was. And I was such a new Phish fan that, of course, like seeing a couple nights in your town would be doable, but traveling for the band was still like you were a serious fan if you were traveling.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite there yet. I was still relatively new. I'd seen, God, 5 shows?
Yeah.
6 shows? So not very many. And I thought, oh, you just get a ticket for New Year's Eve. And I still have my stub, the regular little mail order. And you go and you have a good time that night. And it's New Year, so it's a big deal. But a lot of people there, I remember talking about the night before and how excited they were. And I was surrounded in my section by some real professional Phish kids who helped me understand the moment and the severity of what went on New Year's '95. So
that's
yeah,
cool.
We'll save it. There's a lot of good stories in there. I can't wait to dredge up whether these other 2 humans that we hopefully, can get all in the chat at once, if they remember as clearly as I do. So.
Well, I know one of them does.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, Sam and I just recently got back from seeing one Sphere show, which we feel lucky to see. We've 419. Saw the dog lick the screen, and grateful to have done
the
so.
water night. The water night.
Water night, indeed.
The water night.
Yeah, loved it. Before I even just kind of bring anything up to you, I'm sure if you're a Phish fan, you've heard all the Drew Carey news, which is a big part of the, growing.
The Vitamix delivery
Spear.
got me. That was the one that got me. That they sent in the autographed Vitamix, because I own a few of those. Those aren't cheap blenders.
No.
And if you're gonna put your dick in a blender, I mean that's the blender you want to do it with. And I love to see an adult suddenly have this bus drive by and go, huh, and jump on and go, oh, fuck, this is the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Right.
To feel later in life like that, like you missed out on something and then you got to be a part of it and it blew your fucking mind. Because that's how this band was for me when I started, and that's how the Sphere was for me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I miss them. They're my friends on a spiritual level, not on a friendship level. I don't know those guys at all. They don't know me. We'll never know each other. And that's great. I don't want to. But on a spiritual and deep level, not just the band, a lot of people in that room and I have been to some special places together.
Definitely.
Beyond seeing friends, being there with you guys who are some of my closest, if not my closest friends ever, and experiencing what we did, that's a magical place.
It is. Yeah, every now and then you kind of
go to the Sphere. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy place. And we could do a whole episode kind of talking about it. And I've been thinking about it every day since we've gone.
Every day.
And every now and then I pop on my phone and look at some pictures and I get like this endorphin rush back in my body, just being like, whoa, I saw that. And it was so cool. But I think, the blender thing was awesome with Drew. And then he went on TV and talked about it. And then he just did a Sirius FM interview where he said that by the 3rd song, they made U2 look like a bar band. And he had seen both U2 play in the Sphere, and Phish had said that it made U2 look like a bar band. And I feel like that is a crazy bold statement. And I just want to dive into it real quick I don't know if you heard that he said that, and I'm going to let you process it. But I think this is what Drew meant, because by any means, U2 is an incredible live band, one of the best that's ever played. And I'm sure that their shows at the Sphere were amazing. But I do think that U2 is a band that has spent their career playing huge shows with ginormous screens behind them, and it's just become comfortable for them. And I feel like Drew probably saw that show at the Sphere with U2 and thought, this is just a band kind of doing what they do. They're just kind of going through the motions. They're playing the same set every night. Bono's doing his moves. They got the screen. It's all set up. And Phish, I swear to you, it seemed like it was the most excited they've ever been to play a show. Like, they just had this vibe to them that they were so honored and excited to be playing the Sphere and were putting every artistic molecule that they have in their body into making the best possible show. And I feel like that is very palpable on a subliminal level. And
Yeah.
if I had to guess, because I was really shocked when Drew said that, I'm going to say that I think that that's what he's talking about.
Sure.
Sam, go.
Well, I just think you have to watch the interview with Trey that he does
sure.
before the shows, because he says the amount of people and work, a year's worth of work that went into those 4 nights, was why we were on a fucking submarine under the ocean. It was why nights that we didn't see, but it was why you were flying through a day-glow forest and like floating through the stars in these. Every song there were some songs that were just simple.
Right.
The visuals were very clear and simple. And he talks in the interview about the rules, the unbreakable rules of theater. We're theatrical Trey. And he talks about how there's certain that they could have made people sick,
right,
violently ill, uncomfortable to the point of not enjoying themselves if they weren't careful with the visuals and the sound.
Right.
But they so gently and mercifully and friendly, like the people they are, their hearts were in everything that happened. And it was so, see, for me, there was a lot of technical sloppiness in the song performances.
Sure.
It's what the band's doing now.
Yeah.
He says in the interview, they just played in Mexico and it was the best they've ever played in their career.
Right.
Because he fucking believes it. And that's what you felt at the Sphere, was that band and what they were doing sonically and visually. I mean, I've tried to explain this to lots of people who come up to me and they're like, oh, my feed has just been full on my phone about like the Sphere and people are freaking out and Drew Carey. And it's like, yeah, none of it captures what it's like.
Right.
The sound is coming at you from everywhere. And the way that he describes the sound, how you can bend it and move it and make it omni and unidirectional from behind the screens. And the seat haptics, shit was shaking, but they only a couple times. And the fact that You Enjoy Myself, you went through a car wash, and then you went through a few more songs that were beautiful and cathartic, and the lights come on, and then Rose Royce's Car Wash starts. And everyone around me was dancing and laughing and fucking high-fiving and singing along, and the band did it again. Yeah. The little details, the absolute class and mastery of their craft was on full display. Right. And they felt it, and the audience felt it. And we went to the one night, and I have a friend that went to 4, and he's seen more Phish shows than me, but all to 3.0 later Phish shows, and said that these were yards above the best Phish shows he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he still every day, like I texted the other day, every day he's still thinking about these things. Like it changes you. It
is
was
interesting.
Fucking amazing.
I don't know that I feel comfortable necessarily comparing these shows to other shows, but that's just me because
correct.
Because it was just a totally different experience.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
That room is surreal. It's nothing is like it. Even the lobby. Even the fact that we walked out and walked into a casino, and I looked down at this really sweet person next to me, and she just looked over at me and was like, well, this is a different vibe. And she seemed alone and then just kind of disappeared into this casino. And I was like, yeah. And then we kind of got lost for a while. Vegas is crazy unto itself, but what they created in that ball was different than anything they've ever done. And I knew that they knew it. I knew that they went and saw U2 and saw these shows there and perceived what they could accomplish. And they, being the perfectionists they are, probably feel like they did, a 99% good job. Sure. But for us, wow.
Right.
It was the inside outside. You felt like you were outdoors in the most beautiful places your mind could ever imagine in the universe.
Yeah. With
a breeze blowing across you at 72 degrees. It was wild in there.
It was quite, yeah, the venue itself is quite a miracle of humanity.
Yeah.
I will say, when you think about
Yeah.
like all the different types of skills that you would need to put a venue like that together, and all the genius and innovation, it is really quite staggering.
Yeah.
And then to see an artist kind of take advantage and use it to the best of their ability is quite a beautiful thing. It is kind of funny that you mentioned, I think my one sort of gripe post show, and I don't even know if I mentioned to you, is that I wanted like more forward motion, like roller coasters going through wormholes.
Sure.
But I think that's what you're talking about in terms of,
Yeah.
if you were drunk enough, you'd be puking on your partner. So the band knew that they couldn't really do that, but I can handle it. I just want to say that, guys. I can handle it.
Yes, I would. Maybe a mini sphere for professionals, but yeah,
The fourth night for
I
professionals only. Yeah.
Yes.
Take your Dramamine.
There was a weight. There was a weight put on. Most Phish concerts, you're looking at the band. Your focus is downwards at the band, or if you're on the floor, forwards, slightly upwards at the band. But there, the weight came from above,
right?
And you felt crushed at times. And I think the band themselves enjoyed not being in the spotlight.
Totally.
So many of the songs, they rushed to get to improvising and jumped off the cliff as quick as they could. I mean, that Split Open and Melt was deep shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was not, they wanted to get out of that rhythmic structure immediately. And it was dark.
Yeah.
And they wanted to be there. And the What's the Use, like, they again, abandoned. And the jam out of the Axilla, they were, how quick can we get to the crazy deep place?
Right.
And let these visual directors have some creative freedom with us.
Right.
And I thought that was so cool. It was so, like, they were tapping into a whole new place. And for them and for us, it was an experience that, happens once. And they're going to go back.
Yeah.
And I hope they just do 4 nights every time.
Yep.
And they construct these 4 shows, and that's what they do. But wow, I really sing. I mean, we're about to talk about New Year's '95, the next episode, which people consider to be one of the best shows the band ever played, and might be. But these shows were not, you can't just listen to the audio and expect to get out of it what New Year's '95 is going to give you just listening to the audio.
That is absolutely true. Although the audio does sound awesome. But yes, completely agree.
It's great. Well, see, what I'm hoping for, because minor complaint on a glowing review is, why can I not go download the entire show visually now? Like the stream that everyone watched on their couches.
Yeah. Why
can't I go do that? I mean, there's 2 fucking songs on YouTube. And also, minor complaint, that fucking drone. That drone buzzed me a couple times and took me right out of my moment. And you can see it during, they put the bathtub gin up, which was I laughed out loud at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
And I laughed out loud a couple times I remember there was one moment I laughed looking at you during the beginning where Paige took a little extra stretch and Trey almost started singing at the beginning because there was some structural stuff. But it was, what he played was so sick that it was one of those laugh out loud, like, how are you that talented?
Right.
But that drone like flies down and gets right in Mike's face while he's trying to focus and play. And, great. You got great drone footage. Fuck you.
But the thing is, though, is that everybody that got the webcast the first night complained how shitty it was. So the second night, the webcast was like way better because of the drone. So it was like the first night it was really stagnant. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think
it's hard to
it's the price you pay for the webcast. Did you watch The Taste by chance?
Yeah.
Amazing. I thought that was so
I watched all the things.
Yeah.
I thought that goes too with the robots and shit. Like all of it. All of it was, every video I've gone and watched, like the official releases of the videos are absolutely stunning.
Honestly, some of the non-professional ones are pretty great too. Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Matt, who is one section over from us towards the wall on the right, he has that night that we were there, he's got a bunch of videos from that night. And that seaweed is like waving right next to him, like up above his head when he's filming. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was better than a great time. The last thing I'll say is I did listen to the Down with Disease. Somebody told me to listen to the Down with Disease, and I listened to it, and it's like over 30 minutes, like 35 minutes or something. And I remember thinking, just as they come back into the Down with Disease refrain at the end, thinking to myself, they could have gone 15 more minutes easy. Why are they cutting it short?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? This band has really, it's crazy. They can play a 35-minute jam and I can be so comfortable in it, in the sonics and the groove of it, that I'm just like, yeah, I'll take another 15, which is not something that I would ever say about like a 94 or 95 jam because they're so heavy. But there's something about that Down with Disease that was just so pleasurable. I can't wait to listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their improvising was amazing.
Yeah.
I was so enthralled with, they had control of the energy. They weren't, like I said, structurally there were some song issues and it was a little rocky at the beginning of the show in particular, but they had total command of the room during their improvising. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it built and built. And it was another show where I don't know which set was better. And when the band left the stage, it may have been the first set, because when the band left the stage, the audience wouldn't let them leave.
Right.
And they came out front and took a double bow, and Trey gave a big fist pump. Like it was visually and physically exhilarating just to pay homage to these people who worked that hard.
Right.
The whole crew, not just the band. And I think most of the people there get that the band's not doing this. It's a team of 100. It really was a feat to accomplish. Yeah. And Trey talks a lot about in that interview, which I didn't watch till after, which I thought was great. Uh-huh. He talks a lot about how they're able to achieve this partly because they are not famous. Mm. And he says, like, I would love to see what Beyonce could do in there. Yeah. I would love to see what huge acts could do in there. And he's like, but Phish is like the most famous, unfamous band. And so we can do whatever we want because no one cares.
Right.
No, I think if Drew Carey hadn't have done that, no one would be fucking talking.
It's true. Actually, my stepmom did say she saw a bit of national coverage on it.
But I mean, like NBC did like a... Right. But Drew Carey is getting more press than the band actually got from the shows. And that's great. I love Drew Carey. Like, go for it, man. Do your thing. And I love that you're loving the band and like, I don't know, come on the podcast. We're open for guests.
We'll send you an invite, Drew.
Yeah. We'll pencil you in. It's going to be... We're busy, but maybe. We'll find some time.
We'll pencil you in for 4/24 when we get there. Yeah,
no problem. But I had a great time, and I love to be in there with you guys. And it feels like, dare I say, if it can become a yearly thing, it would be really nice.
Definitely
a nice way to celebrate seeing the band still and getting old together. I mean, people, my whole row on the plane, everyone on my plane from Boston was Phish fans, and we're all pumped up. And like the cheering started when my plane landed.
Yeah.
The day, the first show, like the vibe in Vegas was really positive. There were just enough Phish people to make it weird and fun. I mean, that town's, we're there. We're on the same page. It's a little gross. I gamble slightly more than you, but the experience was awesome. And I would love to make it a yearly thing where we can find, the places we like to eat, the things we like to do. Do you want to tip the hat to the art show we went to as well?
Yeah, well, we went to Meow Wolf, which is an amazing psychedelic art installation place in Vegas, which if you go to Vegas, I cannot recommend enough and have recommended it to everybody I've talked to here in San Diego.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, super awesome. You did mention Boston a second ago, and I'm sure you heard this, but during the 419 show, during the Prince Caspian, no, not Caspian. What was the song on the encore with all the pictures? Waiting in the Velvet Sea. During Waiting in the Velvet Sea, they're showing all the pictures, and there was a picture of one of the band members wearing like a Boston Red Sox hat or a
Yes.
Then with the lady right
Shirt,
behind
maybe?
us,
Yeah.
the lady right behind us with the Boston accent, just kind of like she couldn't even control it. It was just a gut instinct. Like she saw the shirt and was just like, "Go Sox!"
Yeah. Oh, you gotta fucking go
man.
Sox.
Just made my a heart smile so much when she said that.
Those are my people. That's my team. I get it.
Anyway.
Yeah, I really I loved it, and I would go back. So I hope we get to do that.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. Well, what else we got, Sam? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're gonna end on the high. I think 12/29/95 is a great show.
Yep.
I think this was a great episode. I think, like I said, we'll see how episode 28 or 38 might turn into a double. We'll see how it shakes out.
We'll see how it goes.
It's going to be a lot of New Year's 95. Is it the best Phish show ever played? Is going to be the question we're attempting to answer. And as of now, having been there, having listened to a lot of Phish, maybe is my position.
Nah.
Maybe. Maybe.
I'm not really a believer in best show ever played. I don't think that such a thing is possible, but I know that there are people that believe such things.
Was it the best show of this run of 4 shows?
Yes, it was the best show of the 4 runs. Yeah. I'm perfectly willing to say it was the best show of 95.
We're starting somewhere strong. Yeah. Good stories about, I hope everyone loves my long-winded, full of lavish detail that means nothing about music stories, because there's a lot coming at you.
I always loved them, and I always thought that they added
38.
a tremendous amount of color to the show. So yeah, bring it, Sam. Bring it.
Yeah, if the Lick My Dreads guy is out there anywhere that was on the train from Grand Central to Camden that night, let me know.
We'll have to send out some feelers, see who we can collect.
Yeah. Or the guy smoking crack. One of those two. If one of those people are listening, hit us up.
He was having a good time. Anything else to recommend, Sam?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I've got nothing.
Okay.
How about you? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'll go with nothing. I will just say I sent this to you the other day, but Sam and I love to make mixes. We love to make mixtapes. We love to make mix CDs, always working on something. And the other day, Spotify recommended a celebrity playlist to me by John Mulaney. And I thought, oh, this is whatever. And then I started listening to it, and I was like, God damn, if this isn't an incredible playlist. Yes, it's very like he reads the indie magazines, and it's very New York cool, but he's got a lot of really left field picks, and a lot of really cool stuff that would be like the funny song on an album that you might not normally consider, but because he's a funny guy, he's kind of attracted to these funny songs. And I flew through that mix, and I thought it was amazing. And I'm going to listen to more. I saw that Thundercat has one, and I'm going to listen to his. And I think I like stumbling upon other people who make mixes. So if you make mixes and you want to send some for me and Sam to listen to, please send them to us. We love to listen to other people's mixes.
I guess I should recommend the new Waxahachie record.
Yeah, great. Also great.
Stunning. Big fan. And it's that time of year where there's some artists that I've been waiting for that next record. Their last ones were spectacular. And I'm waiting for the next one, Thundercat being one of them.
Yeah.
But I think as we go through these next handful of episodes, we'll have a lot more external music to discuss. Let's just get to 96.
Let's get to 96. It's a great year. It was a big
get over the big hill of 95 here and get to 96, where we are in the transition year between raucous 95 Phish and the funk of 97. So the lost weekend of a year that I think Ian and I both believe is possibly one of the band's sneaky best. So.
Oh, I think we were in agreement that 96 is the most underrated year, for whatever that means. And we'll get into why.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, it was a pleasure as always.
That year that make it. Yes, I miss you, and we will see all of you digitally soon.
Listeners, so long. Be well.
Night, everybody. friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companiontothecompanion@gmail.com. Digitally, I guess.